it's definitely changed my life for the good. I'm able to do more of what I want to do as opposed to living in that sort of 9 to 5 routine. Just go for it and don't hold back on anything. It will work and you will reap the rewards.
Hi everybody, it's Lewis Smith here and I'm delighted to be joined today by Jared, who's a member of the Dropship Unlocked coaching program. And Jared, you've been with us since
March
of this year. So that's like 6-7 months. And I mean, since then, Jared's had an awesome journey. I'm delighted to be able to share this with you today. And you've surpassed recently, or on track to surpass, what, 300,000?
Yeah.
300 grand in sales in 6 months is incredible. In case you hadn't noticed, we're actually sitting here today in Jared's very own e-commerce branded warehouse, which is amazing. And I mean, we all know, first thing to say is that rule number one of dropshipping is that we don't talk about what we dropship. So we won't mention the name of your company or your niche or anything like that today for obvious reasons. But before we get into a little about how this all came about for you and, you know, like what led to this point in your journey, perhaps you can give us a bit of an idea about what you were doing prior to joining the program and just kind of put this all in context for people. Like, what did your life consist of before then?
Well, I had a full-time job like most others. I was working for a hotel chain, just part of their digital marketing team. So my background was very much digital marketing focused, a lot of PPC work. And yeah, I mean, I'd always been interested in starting my own business, and it was just a case of when we first spoke on the phone, not sure how to go about it, how to source different products or suppliers or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, I was a bit of a sticking point then as to how to go about it. But yeah, I started back in March and everything's gone swimmingly since then.
Amazing, yeah. So I'm keen to hear a bit more about that. I mean, back when you were working before, can you kind of paint a bit of a picture about what a typical working day was like for you? Like what?
Yeah, I mean, it was very much your standard 9 to 5 in an office, working with a small marketing team. So I was the digital marketing manager for the hotel chain. So it was very much, just working on PPC, SEO, working with different agencies across the board. So quite relevant to the industry that we're in now, e-commerce and everything online marketing. So I did feel that it was a good fit when I came across you to just to get me over the line as to what sort of business or products to go with. Yeah.
So I guess you'd been working for clients and kind of using your skills and expertise to make them money before, and did you kind of hit a point in the road where you thought, I'm doing this for myself now? Yeah.
So I mean, the past sort of 5 years, I've always said to myself, I really want to give it a go on my own. And I'd done some consultancy work in the past, and it got to about, I think it was February time this year. I just handed my notice in and I said, look, I'm just going to do consultancy work to keep me ticking over. And at some point down the line, I'll find a product or a business as to run. Because ultimately I wanted to get into the e-commerce game and start selling my own products. So yeah, just sort of bit the bullet really, handed in my notice, and yeah, the rest is history, I guess.
So just to back up a little bit, because you mentioned that 5 years you were thinking about doing something like this.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people watching this will be in that position, that kind of holding pattern where they're like, I'm going to do it, I'm going to, no, you know, I'm going to do it, I'm going to, and then no, back off. What was it that do you think was stopping you? What do you think may have been holding you back?
I had so many late nights where I was just on Alibaba Express looking at different products to bring in. But then when it got around to it, it was do I want to spend this amount of money on purchasing stock where I don't know the demand or anything like that? So there's no process to it. And obviously, that was a stopping point. I didn't have the money to be able to invest in the stock or anything like that. So that's when I came across the dropshipping model. It was perfect, really, because you don't have that restraint of having to put up 10, 20, 30,000 pounds ahead of actually selling an item. So yeah, I mean, as I was saying, for those past 5 years, really just wanted to really get into it, but just didn't know the right way of how to go about it.
Okay.
Which I think I got there in the end.
Yeah. So what was your first contact with us? Like, where did you first hear about Dropship Unlocked?
I think it was a YouTube video from memory. I'd seen of you doing a talk somewhere. I can't remember. I can envisage you on a stage I think it was in Bali or something.
Thailand,
Yeah, in Thailand, yeah. And then there was a little link through to the website, and I had a look at the website, and I think you had a separate video on the site. And it just sort of instantly clicked, not having to import your own products, being able to utilize my experience, which was building websites and generating traffic to websites. And I guess the real sticking point for me in the past was the other side of things, was the actually getting the products or supplying the products to the customers. So that's where I found you, and then I think we had the call the next day.
Yeah. I mean, can I ask what piqued your interest? Because I think a lot of people, when they hear the term dropshipping, they think cheap products, trending widgets, AliExpress, Oberlo, like all these and it gets a negative rep. It gets a bad rep, I think. But obviously we're talking about UK-based suppliers, next day delivery, high ticket products. Like, what was it that stood out to you that made you think this might be different?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I didn't even know that it was possible to be able to drop ship, as you say, from UK suppliers, next day delivery. So I mean, as you say, drop shipping has quite a negative connotation to it in the industry. Obviously with people buying AliExpress products and shipping them 30, 40, 60 days later is crazy. But yeah, just being able to have that quick turnaround and be able to effectively benefit the customer and benefit the e-commerce store as ourselves by not being able to invest in stock and being able to get the customer the product that they want from a UK renowned brand with a warranty is just, I thought was brilliant.
Yeah, and I think it's you're building a long-term business, right? It's something that if you want to build a sustainable brand that's going to serve customers and you financially for years to come, you've got to think longer term than a flash in the pan selling a few products from AliExpress or something. So there'll be many people watching now that will perhaps not be in a position where they may not want to pull the trigger just yet, and they're kind of umming and ahhing over FBA or drop shipping or domestic drop shipping or affiliate marketing, all these different business models. And
FBA was a big one I was looking into as well, actually.
And I think sometimes people they kind of don't know whether to invest in themselves, they don't know whether to pull that trigger, start that business, join that mentorship program. What was it that, there's probably a penny drop moment. There's usually a pivotal moment where you think, I'm doing this, I'm building this business, I'm making this happen. Can you talk us through that moment and how you kind of made that decision?
I think initially it was quite low barrier to entry for me. Obviously the cost of the course, you could split it over a certain amount of payments on an online credit card. And that was quite a unique benefit to me, to be able to do that. Because I didn't have the spare cash or anything like that to be able to spend the money on it. So I think that was a good factor, and obviously having seen your success personally, your other customer successes as well, it just got to a point where I thought, if I don't do it now, I just will never do it. Exactly. So yeah, I think that was early March time, and I just sort of bit the bullet and committed to it.
Well, you jumped at the deep end,
sure,
didn't you?
I think you do have to really commit. I mean, throughout the whole process, you really just commit and trust the process. Because
what I was going to ask you, a lot of people will join a program and they'll be like, I'm going to skim through everything. I'm going to have a look at this whole thing, get the lie of the land, and then maybe I'll take action. And to me, that's like a defense mechanism against your own taking action. So what was your approach? Did you go through it and assess the whole thing from afar, or did you go through take action as you went step by step?
You've got to each week just stick by it, and I mean it's a really easy sort of self-guide to build a website and a business essentially, and if you stick by it and commit to 100%, it's almost impossible to get wrong essentially, if you go through all the steps correctly. So if you are thinking, let's skip to week 2 and see what it is, or skip anything like that, then you're not really gonna. You probably won't get the benefits if you were to stick it out.
So I recently came across quite an interesting statistic. So this was from Coutts Index, and
Okay.
they said that 1/5 of young entrepreneurs in the UK cite that a lack of mentorship is what's stopping them from building a business.
Yeah.
So as you know, and a lot of the people watching this who I'm sure are Dropship Unlocked members already will know that every week we have 2 live coaching calls
Yeah.
as part of our program to kind of help you overcome hurdles, obstacles within the business. Now, when you hit those inevitable roadblocks, because that's, you know, that's part of doing business,
Yeah.
right? That's the
Yeah.
beauty of business. You're always going to have those obstacles. But how did you find the kind of ongoing coaching helped you overcome those? Like, what was the value you found in that mentorship?
Yeah, I mean, it was invaluable, really, being able to twice a week just jump on a call, basically just noted down my questions that I had between those calls and would jump on at the times and just pester you with them. and yeah, I mean, obviously, I know a big one at the time was obviously COVID-19, and would suppliers still be willing to take on businesses? And yeah, they were. They really were. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, definitely helped those periods, and having that sort of mentor and leadership obviously got me over the line originally, and then it helped throughout the process as well.
Yeah.
To get to that end goal of being able to launch and even further on from there as well.
Amazing. Well, so let's talk timelines now, because this is the question
Right.
that everybody will be thinking at home, everyone will be asking themselves. How long does it take when you start one of these businesses to start making money, right, to start getting profitable? So after you started running ads, because I think that's kind of, you built a business, you started running ads, how long was it after you started running ads before you made your first sale?
I started running the ads end of April, and I think it took about a week to get the first sale.
How much was that for?
And it was about 1,200.
One sale?
The retail price, yeah.
And what was the profit on that? Do you know?
It was a good £300, I think, on it.
Amazing.
And the funny thing was, yeah, I mean, we were at a barbecue, I think it was, and that lovely sound of the Shopify app coming on, and I think I actually had 2 that evening, from memory. So I hadn't had any in a week, and I remember having 2 that evening and thinking, because obviously running for a week, you start to doubt it a little bit, which I think is natural too. But then when those 2 come in, you're like, oh, this is amazing. Let's ramp up the spend.
Yeah, exactly. So you were at a barbecue at the time.
Yeah.
What was, can you describe, because this will be, you know, a lot of people will think they can visualize that first moment, they're ready for it. Like, what was the feeling inside when you see that, you look down at your phone, you see you've just made £600 in 2 sales?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was amazing to think what I'd had to do before to make £600. That's probably a few good days' work. To be able to do that on just at a barbecue was amazing.
And I guess that, as well as, you know, the nice dopamine hit you get from that sound of the ka-ching, I guess that was the moment that you first realised you no longer have to trade your time for money here.
Yeah.
Like, you've built a system that's bigger than you and your time.
Yeah.
How did that change the way you viewed kind of the future of this business now that you'd realised you weren't trading your time for money anymore with that?
Oh, it just made me even more eager just to keep going, dive in, sign up. I mean, the three rules that you always go on about is the optimize your ads. See if I remember them now. Optimize the ads, more suppliers, and upload products. Yeah. And yeah, that couldn't be more true. If ever you're thinking, oh, what should I do today? Just one of those 3, and it really does help. Yeah, I think that's what you need to look at doing is those 3 to really push it home. Yeah.
So it's now been 6 or 7 months since you joined the program.
Yeah.
What are your total sales to date since you joined 6 months ago?
6 in terms of revenue, 310 I think we're at now.
£310,000.
Yeah. And in terms of products sold, I think that's around about 300 products that we've sold in total.
So it's a good average kind of product price, average order value.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. So, and I guess that's only a few sales a day really that you've got to deal with, right?
Yeah. Well, I know that if I hit a sale a day, that I cover the cost of my salary of my previous job.
Yeah.
So
1 sale a day.
anything above that is great.
And so with those kind of results in such a short time frame, £310,000 in 6 months, I mean, something like 9 out of 10 businesses fail within the first couple of years, and even more in the first 5 or 10 years. How do your friends and family view it now? If you said to them, I started a business 6 months ago and I've just hit, a third of my way to £1 million.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think my friends really understand it yet. I told them about it, and they still don't really believe me or anything like that. But yeah, my family, they're absolutely buzzing for me.
Yeah.
They know that I've always wanted to do something like that, just really happy that it's sort of hit success, and hopefully long may that continue.
Yeah. And can you talk to me a little bit about what this has enabled you to do? So stepping away from the day-to-day of the business side of things, now that you've got the business up and running and you're able to, like you say, make one sale a day and it replaces your former salary, what's it enabled you to do day to day, like in terms of time with friends and family and things you want to do, holidays?
Yeah, I'm able to do more of what I want to do, as opposed to living in that sort of 9 to 5 routine, commuting. I know not many people have been doing that recently, but that was a bit of a headache. It's completely changed my lifestyle. We actually bought a dog the other day, so I'm now able to have a little puppy as well, and look after her. Whereas wouldn't be able to do that before. So yeah, it's definitely changed my life for the good. But it's not easy. If you're looking for a sort of quick easy money, it's definitely not the route to take. It is hard work, but it's hard work for good success.
So something that we teach inside the Dropship Unlocked program is that, like you said, this isn't a quick get rich quick kind of system, right? You're building long-term businesses here that are going to pay you for years to come, right? So anyone that kind of wants it to be immediate, you have to put it in perspective and think, well, this is going to be paying your income for years to come. So you're basically doing this instead of working 40, 50-hour weeks, right? So what we talk about inside the program is that these are ever evolving businesses. You're never done with this business, right? It's always, you improve it, you optimize it. So can you think of any strategies that you did differently? Because your results have been pretty exceptional with this. What kinds of things do you think you focused on? What high leverage tasks to get those results so quickly?
In terms of my specific business, I think we were quite lucky with the timing. It was quite a popular niche during that period over the summer. And I think we, one of the strategies we used, I think I told you about this earlier, was to make sure that we're getting Trustpilot reviews. So we did send out handwritten thank you cards to the customers, and they quite like that, with a little a little insert of leave a review on Trustpilot and why it really helps small businesses like us. So that we saw quite a few come through on that, which was good.
That's such a cool thing to do, like that. I guess you couldn't do that if you had 50 orders a day coming in and like widget after widget all around the world. You don't have the luxury of doing that, do you? Yourself. You could probably pay a company to do it, but the fact that you
I think people quite appreciate that. They're spending $1,000 to $1,500 up to maybe $2,000 sometimes on these products, and just to be able to have that sort of personal touch to it is quite nice, and they do quite enjoy that. And we've seen some great reviews come through on that, so that definitely helps. And now, having done that a few months back, I'm getting customers coming to us and saying, "Oh, we see you've got great reviews on Trustpilot, on your own website for the Judge.me app." And I think that's definitely helped.
Build a strong foundation.
Yeah.
And in case anyone hadn't noticed, we are sitting here in your very own warehouse or showroom, whatever you want to refer to it as. But I guess the thing to say is, you've converted what was an idea in your mind, right? Nothing physical, it was just a brainwave, an idea, into a physical bricks and mortar establishment that we're now sitting in. How does that feel? Like, to have made it come to life?
Yeah, amazing. I think it's really helped us open up to some more suppliers. So initially, a lot of the biggest suppliers were saying, sorry, they're more traditional, they wanted to work with bricks and mortar. So we're definitely going to be, we're only in here for the last week or so. So we're definitely going to be looking at reaching out to those suppliers again and saying, hey, well, we're here, we've got a showroom, come and have a look. And hopefully we'll get them on board or increase the amount of suppliers there.
But I guess you've hit £300,000 or 310,000 in turnover without having this, right?
Yeah.
So you've managed to do
Yeah.
that all without even having this. So this
Exactly.
is like fuel to the fire now.
So yeah, obviously we're looking to still continue the drop shipping side of things.
Yeah.
Is our preference going forward. But sometimes the supplier would say, oh, we need you to take a bit of stock. So we'll say, okay, send us your best.
So you made the decision to open up this physical warehouse showroom now, but obviously you started with this as an online business. So how do you think that the online presence of this business that you created prior to opening this helped in terms of informing your decisions, you know, when you actually went to go ahead and open this place?
Massively. I mean, now that we're looking to take stock, we know what sells well, what products, what colours, what product variations sell well. So we know that we're able to invest in that stock to be able to store them in a warehouse and get them out quickly to customers. Especially at the moment, the niche that we're in is quite low on stock. So sometimes we're finding, we'd sell 1, 2, 3, 4 of these products in a couple of days and be like, great, this is a new product that's going to do really well for us, for the supplier to turn around and say, oh, sorry, they're out of stock until 3 months down the line, which is quite frustrating. So now it enables us to be able to say, right, well, let's invest or put some money towards those products that we know are going to sell, have high margins, and will be really profitable down the line. So yeah, it definitely does help.
Yeah. And if you could go back in time by 6 months and speak to the former Jared, speak to your former self about kind of, because there'll be a lot of people in your position back then now where they're not sure whether to pull the trigger, they're not sure whether to invest in their own development, invest in their own business, whether it's because they don't believe in themselves, they don't believe in the business model, or whatever that might be. What's one piece of advice you'd give your former self sitting on the fence at this moment?
Just go and do it. I think one of the big factors is being able to afford the course, and I think it's definitely worth the money that we pay for it. I mean, I after a couple of weeks, I'd been able to pay it off. Just get over the line and just get through the course as quickly as possible, follow it to the T, and yeah, I tried to do it. I think I did it in about 7 or 8 weeks. I'd say just go for it and try and do it in the 6 weeks if possible. I know sometimes it can be hard if people have full-time jobs. But yeah, just go for it and don't hold back on anything there. It will work and you will reap the rewards down the line.
I think there's so much noise out there, especially when it comes to e-commerce, because there are so many different ways you can do it, right? So there are a lot of people that will say, I can find all that information on YouTube, or I can piece it together from different blogs and different, guys teaching this. What would you say to someone saying that?
Yes, you can, but you'd spend 6 months doing that, I think, minimum. I think everything's there in the videos with the little help sheets at the end, or cheat sheets, I can't remember what they're called, at the end of each video. Just go through that and stick through it. I think the important part is obviously finding the right product. So I remember I spent endless nights on that spreadsheet trying to enter all the different products with the different search volumes and all that. So just get that right, and then from there, once you have your niche, just really go after it. I think I had about 3 or 4 that I was umming and ahhing about, and just sort of have to bite the bullet really, and just go for one and just go full in, 100%, give it your all. Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter if you get it wrong the first time. It's not like you've gone out and leased a physical premises that is contingent on that one working. You just pivot. That's the beauty of it, isn't it? So, I think
I've still got 3 or 4 that I'm keeping my eye on.
Future businesses. Well, that ties into my next question. Now that you've done this, you've proven the concept, you're a third of your way to £1 million in turnover within 6 months, which is ridiculous. What are your plans for the future? Like, is it with this business to expand? Is it with another business?
Yeah, I mean, I know this is quite a seasonal business, so I know coming into the winter periods we'll drop off a little bit. I'll have a bit more free time, which would be great to be able to look at other opportunities. We've built a second site. So that will be, or has launched. We just need to put a bit more focus on that. I've got a friend out in Australia, so when it's winter here, it's summer down there. So the products, we're looking to launch there when they get a bit more stock of the products. And then, yeah, hopefully we'll get that around to March time next year, and this will start picking up again. So that's the plan for the next year or so. Yeah.
Well, before we close, Jared, I just wanted to say thank you for having me here today. It's been a pleasure to meet you in person.
Great to finally meet you.
We'd only met 10 minutes before we started this interview. So I mean, I wanted to give you an opportunity to say anything that you wanted to say, if there's anything that kind of we haven't covered today. But I guess from my side, before I ask you for any closing thoughts, you've been a huge inspiration to a lot of people that are watching this that are maybe part of our program already and don't quite know if they're going to be able to do it. You've trailblazed, you've shown them exactly what can be done. And I mean, from my side, I'm incredibly proud to see what amazing results you've got so quickly.
Perfect.
So,
Thanks.
See you soon.